Hello. Welcome to the next FloatCon webinar. This is our second one so far, and we are looking forward to doing about one a month of these up until the Float conference and hopefully beyond. Looks like everybody has already taken care of this, but please make sure to mute your camera or your microphone if you're not actively speaking. I'm very excited to welcome Miss Patti here to give a presentation to us. She's going to be sharing 10 things every, sorry, I just read this specifically, I have it in my brain. 10 things every wellness business needs to know about retail. We invited Patti to do this presentation because she is a retail expert in the wellness industry, working with lots of spas around the world.
All around the country.
Around the country. And she came highly recommended from a couple Float Center owners. So I think she has a lot of really important and useful information for all of us to hear.
Okay, so I'm calling this 10 things you need to know about wellness and lifestyle retail. And this is one of my most fun topics because I think one of the things the pandemic has taught us is that retail really is important. I mean, it really has kept a lot of businesses afloat during the pandemic. And I'm just so thrilled to be able to do this presentation for you today. And just a little bit about me. I speak, write, consult in the retail arena. I do a lot of writing for some of the trade magazines. I speak in the gift show circuit, which is a great place to find really unique retail products. And I teach a really fun class for the University of California, Irvine in their spa management certificate program. But I think what gives me great credibility in this space is that I don't just talk about retail, I'm an independent retailer. For more than 10 years, I've had a pop-up store where I sell wine accessories. And it's called Winetique. It's not a boutique, it's a Winetique. And so that makes it just really fun. And I think it makes it real because I share all of the same challenges that you do in finding product, selling product, visual merchandising, et cetera, et cetera. So, Rah Rah Retail. You know, during these last 2 years, really, we've really had to think about how do we pivot. And those pivots that we've done to keep our businesses going and continue to sell retail, I don't think those changes are going away, but there have been some fundamental things that are a little bit different. You know, what people want to buy has changed a little bit. And how they buy things has undergone a tremendous transformation from just walking into a physical brick and mortar space and picking up a few items to what we're now calling omni-channel, which is using all kinds of platforms to promote and sell those retail products. And their expectations of the level of personalization that they want have really changed too, as we've also seen a big shift in the last couple of years to younger and younger and younger purchasers. So we're going to cover 10 hot points today about some exciting things that are going on in retail. So if you only remember one slide, one key point, one thought from the end of this presentation, and like I'd say, write this down. We have to go through a mental shift and stop thinking about retail as a product activity. It really is a people business, not just products. And when you start to make that mental shift, your staff, your welcome desk people, your therapists, everybody who works in your business, they're going to have a transformation too. So that's why I always put this slide first. This is your number one takeaway. And I think you'll be convinced by the end of this that this really is true. So what's really been going on in the whole arena of spa and wellness? It's just not a location anymore. It really is an attitude. And when we talk about spa and wellness retail, we're really looking at the opportunity to enhance people's lifestyle. through wellness products that speak to relaxation, stress management, healthy living, and is very value driven. And that really impacts the kinds of products that you select for your business. I think in all the years I've been doing this, I've never seen it be so important to be selecting products that have strong values attached to them. Makes it much easier to sell that product. So everybody who comes to your wellness facility or that sees a product that you promote through social media or responds to a text message about a product that you want to promote, they will really resonate with that opportunity if you share with them the values, their preferences, their personal activities, what they do for exercise or wellness, and their personal interests. In fact, I just saw a new report today that came out that said during the last year, 35% of consumers who are wellness, beauty, and spa consumers actually completed a purchase from a text message or an email. And so I think on a marketing perspective, that tells you that this is a very important channel for you to think about when you are promoting the kinds of retail opportunities, shopportunities, I call them, that are open to you. And I like these pictures because one of the things I'm going to be talking about in New York is kind of the 3 S's that are real hot in retail right now. And it's sex, supplements, and sleep. And so that really speaks to kind of personal needs and opportunities to enhance wellness. And so the more we can tie into people's personal preferences, then it becomes really not a sale at all. It becomes part of the service that you are offering. In fact, I have something I always like to say when I give a talk, and that's that to me, no service, especially in a spa or wellness business, is complete without a retail recommendation. So I think for everybody on the call today and for everybody who might watch this in the future, one of the things that maybe you've never heard about and is absolutely critical to business success is that when you have retail opportunities for people, it actually can drive guest retention. And guest retention is just so critical. In fact, this is some research that was done back in 2008. Other people have repeated it. I've actually did a deep dive and looked at buying behaviors and patterns within some of the businesses I consult with. And I believe this to be oh so true, that if you sell one product, a single product, you've increased your chances of that person booking again by 25%. Now that's not too shabby. If you sell 2 products, now you've got a 50-50 chance that they're going to come back again. And if you get them, and this is independent of the price of the product. That's what's so exciting about this. We don't have to think of these retail products as being expensive investments, but you sell them 3 products and boy, oh boy, are they going to come back. So I think this is really critical to business success because it costs so much money to get in one new person. And if you can get that person who is a new guest in your facility to come back, oh my goodness, now you don't have to spend as much time and energy trying to get one new person. And what I see a lot of businesses do is they spend the majority of their marketing time on trying always to get new people to come in, all kinds of first time offers and this and that, where we really should be spending our money on existing guests. And one of the things to do in that is to design retail promotions. So let's talk a little bit about just what is a spa, wellness, and lifestyle product, because oh my gosh, it's a big category. and getting bigger all the time. And it's constantly moving because there are new and exciting products coming on the scene. So this is just a snapshot of all the different kinds of things that can fall into your retail collections. Everything from nail care, hair care, nutritional things, robes, candles, supplements, music, makeup, stress relieving, pain relieving, all of those kinds of things. And as I shared before, sex supplement and sleep products, think pillows, silk pillowcases, aromatherapy for sleep, all of those things can fall into your collection. And so you can really customize this to your location and to your particular clientele by age or by gender. There really are just an endless array of great products out there. So I spoke a little bit about this when we were kind of chatting. The new approach is not multi-channel. Like you may have an online store. You may from time to time do a promotion on Facebook or send a text message about something new, or maybe you've even made a YouTube video about some products that you have to offer. But what is really happening now is omni-channel retail, and that's where everything is linked together. And oh my gosh, one of the things that I think has spoken to the strength of this has been during the pandemic, where you could buy online, pick up in store, or pick up at curbside, or actually have it home delivered. So there's just so many opportunities here for connecting all those dots. And that's basically one of the biggest takeaways and changes in the retail landscape in the last 2 years. Live events, virtual events. Now we're doing connected selling, where you can actually do a consultation with somebody in real time, make product recommendations, follow up with them afterwards, mobile apps, live stream selling. Okay, you know what live stream selling is? Think QVC. And there are actually wellness businesses that are doing like Facebook Live or Zoom meetings like this, having virtual retail parties. So one of the things I think that, as we've been spending so much time apart, has been that the experience of shopping has never been more important. And that plays out in two really important ways. It's important to personalize, and that means personalizing recommendations, and then also customization. And that is offering a variety of retail products that speak to those values, that speak to people's preferred activities, that really speak to the backstory. It's a way of really personalizing and engaging and making what I say is the real retail. And I think all of these are just such important and exciting transformations in our retail space. So if you're a consumer like me, I'm sure you've seen the growth of what I call the icons of personalizations, where people really are reading product labels and they are looking specifically for things like no animal testing, gluten-free, kosher, halal, organic, products that are made by women-owned businesses, geo-targeting, and that's really, I see that as an outgrowth of the buy local phase, and we're really into that in a big way. And so, at you as purchasers of retail product for your particular businesses, these things will really resonate with your guests that come to your facility. The other thing is that every single one of these potential personalization labels gives you a great opportunity for promoting that in social media, in shelf talkers, in providing a little backstory when you're making product recommendations. Really has never been more important. And like I said, backstory. So what do I mean when I'm talking about backstory? And backstory, I mean, one of the great things today, I think, with many of the retail products that are available is that they have a great backstory, whether it's they use recyclable bottles or the soap that you're selling is wrapped in a paper which is embedded with seeds that after you take the paper off the soap, you can go plant it in the garden, or that they support women-owned businesses, or that it comes from a small organic farm in Texas. In fact, I'll give you a great example of this. There's a company that I have worked with that sells goat's milk products, and they are the largest milking goat dairy in the state of Texas, which is a good story in and of itself, but they hand milk their goats. They hand milk their goats. Why? Because those girls give more milk. And so there's just the backstory is really important to people, as are the packaging options. People are really becoming more conscious about waste. And so that's, and again, these things make for great social media. So let's talk just a little bit about this whole idea of how retail products create experience. And basically, you all are in the experience business. And just by their very nature, spa products extend that experience. They extend the positive benefits of that experience. And you know what else they do for you? They keep your business top of mind. When that person takes a retail product home and shares that soap or shares that scrub or takes a bath with the Epsom salts that you sell. And while we're still buying a lot of stuff, we really are craving experiences. But when we can make that link between coming to see you and having an experience, and then experiencing that at home and sharing that with other friends or family or significant others, then we've really built a 360-degree retail experience for people. So here's kind of 3 reasons to really care about retail. Retail is really important, first and foremost, because it's an enormous profit center for your business. And why is that? Because if you price your products appropriately, your margin is so good. In fact, the margin on a retail product is always going to be higher than a service because you have less labor. That's really important. The second reason I think it's important to care is this whole idea of loyalty and retention, that if you sell a retail product, you have a better opportunity to have somebody return to the business and probably also write a good review about you, which is important as well. And then this whole notion of lifetime value, you know, really in the spa and wellness industry, we're really concerned about what is the lifetime value of that single guest, because to me, retail, when you really do embed it into the service, you have an opportunity to sell more memberships. You have an opportunity to sell gift cards. You have an opportunity to have that person make recommendations and bring other people to your business. So lifetime value is really enhanced by retail. So my best advice when thinking about retail products, and this goes back to that first idea about this really being a people business, really, as you select products, promote products, do visual displays of products, really think about how you can focus those products to deepen your relationship, not just making a one-time sale, but really, and part of that is through making product recommendations. You know, we're just all bombarded with a million messages. It's hard to tell what's a good product, what's not a good product. But, you know, still in this day and age, the retail recommendation is one of the most powerful sales tools that we have. And this is because, boy, you know, people are just so much better informed. And the group of potential purchases is just so much more diverse than it was even a few years ago. But they're well informed, they're savvy, and you know what? They're looking for retail recommendations from you. So I love this cartoon. Retail is really growing. I don't want you to miss the boat on really making the most of this opportunity that you have in your wellness business. And, you know, anything I can do to help you realize that potential, I'm happy to do. And, you know, spending a little time with me today, I really appreciate it. You can find me on all the social platforms and on my website. You can send me an email. I'm pretty easy to find. And I think we have time for some questions. I don't know the meaning of life, but I'm happy to answer some retail questions for you. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see everybody who's here.
Thank you, Patty. We're having a riveting discussion here in the chat room, and I'm noticing a lot of recurring themes is that a lot of people are interested in white labeling or private labeling or do-it-yourself products or what have you. So are you able to speak to white labeling or anything like that?
Oh, yes. I'm going to tell you, I am a huge fan of private label. Private label has a particular, not only from a profit standpoint, do you get generally a better profit margin? It is one of the most effective ways to fight against things that are sold on Amazon. The other thing is that if you have a retail product and it has your logo, your name on it, every single time a guest picks that up, they're going to think of you. I mean, it is like constant selling, and it really does help people go, oh, you know, haven't been in for a float for a while, haven't been in for a massage for a while. I really need to do that. And there has never been a better selection of really good retailers who will customize or private label for you.
How do we know who's a good retailer for that? Do you have any like suggestions or way to weed through those?
Yeah, actually, and I know I can't make specific recommendations, but I saw that FAIR popped up. And if you're familiar with FAIR, you know, there are actual vendor purchaser reviews on FAIR, which I personally find to be very, very helpful. But in addition to FAIR, if you haven't heard of these, there's Tundra, Abound. There's a new market that is attached to the international market centers called Juniper. There's another market attached to the magazine called Gifts and Decorative Accessories. And every one of those groups has a lot of selection. And especially like on FAIR, you can actually sort out products that are sold on Amazon. You can actually check the values you're looking for, like a woman-owned business, small batch, you know, non-animal tested. And I encourage you to read the reviews, but there's a lot of excellent product out there. Actually, I see this question that popped up. And it just brings me to something that is very related to selling product. I'm a big advocate of what I call a spa scription, and that can be and it's an actual piece of paper that you also send through a text message or an email that makes product recommendations. Lots of different ways to do this, but it is on that spa scription that has the intention of enhancing and expanding the experience, that you put this idea of, you know, we suggest you return in 2 weeks or 4 weeks. You can cross market, you can put your logo on it, all of those kinds of things.
Awesome, thank you. So just real quickly, if you guys have any questions, feel free to raise the little hand icon or type it in the chat. I also want to see if you guys can all, or some of you, post in the chat like your favorite retail that you sell or whatever's most popular retail that you sell, so we can all just kind of get involved and see what other people are doing. And I really wish Nicole was here. I was totally going to call her out. She just posted on her website, on her Facebook, that Shanti Wellness released a custom salt soak. And so what she's done is she's taken Epsom salt and added a custom blend of essential oils to it and bagged it and labeled it. And so you can take out home and you can have like a little Shanti Wellness at home.
A DIY kit.
Yeah, kind of a DIY kit. And it is beautiful. It's perfectly branded to go with your float center. Such a great idea. So I'm really glad that we brought up a lot of white labeling, private labeling here.
This is for Sally. Sally wants to know what else she can do with her Epsom salts. Okay, so a couple of things. This is really cool. These are glass test tubes. So you can recycle them as little like vases or refill them. They come in 2 sizes, and they are basically Epsom salt mixed with like rose leaves, rosemary, other kinds of aromatic herbs. You can easily private label these. These are great for what I call impulse buys. Really, really wonderful. A couple of my clients make bath bombs from there, or DIY salt scrubs. Bombs are really easy to make, and of course have a really great upside to the retail margin on them too.
Yeah, I was pulling a couple other ideas too. A lot of float centers I see sell books, and those color therapy glasses are really popular, I think, in our industry.
Color therapy glasses are very, very popular. And just maybe something to put out there is, in addition to having your retail displays, one of the best tips I can give you is to have an impulse buy. You know, something small like this. They're generally smalls, things you can buy in multiples. Why? Because people will buy one for themselves, one for their dog sitter, one for, one for their significant other, one as a birthday gift for somebody. So you get a multiple purchase. You should change these impulse buys out monthly so people don't get bored with seeing the same thing. Other things that work really well in that category are things like lip glosses, hand creams, small sanitizers, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there's a million and one ideas for impulse buys.
And I'm seeing some like candles and CBDs are popular. I'm loving, Peter said wind chimes are their second biggest retail item. I love that. And yeah, Graham at FloatCon, they sell the 50-pound bags of salt, which is a pretty, because we get them at a pretty big discount versus those little bags you can buy at the store. Not we, but float center owners, buy a big pack of them. So good one, Graham.
Yeah, there's just an incredible array. And I think just, to think about, how do I approach creating a really good collection? You have to really look carefully at the demographics of what your particular clientele are. So, if it's younger, if it's older, if it's here's a real tip. I bet if you, in the next week or so, just started asking people how many of them have pets at home, you're going to find that, I'm going to guess, 65 to 70% of the people who come to your facility are pet owners. So what that says to me, and one of my favorite categories of retail collections, is to bring in some pet products, some pet wellness products. Those sell incredibly well. I saw somebody mention gift boxes. Okay. Pre-pandemic, one of the most interesting trends was that people were moving away from gift baskets and gift boxes, gifts ready to go, and they wanted to have the experience themselves of picking things out. Well, now that everybody's feeling a little more comfortable, we're still doing a very strong business with gift boxes. And if you think about it, the number one reason that people buy a gift card is birthday. The number one reason people buy a gift is birthdays. So you can expand on what you developed during the pandemic and maybe have some gift boxes ready to go. To customize them, maybe there's a list of different things that they can pick. Maybe then you pack in some birthday hats and some candles and other fun little things and make this the birthday to go box. You could also do a couples box. That's really popular, an anniversary box, a thank you box, and throw in some additional really fun things. So we're not getting out of the gift box business anytime soon.
I wanted to shift just a little bit. I had asked for some questions ahead of time, and I know I love all the product ideas and stuff, but you guys are here for more than just that. So one person had asked, like, what percentage of your revenue should be from retail? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh, I can give you some statistics on that. Spa and wellness businesses, I always say this is like the untapped potential in your business. National average 10, 12, 15 highly performing wellness businesses. And this is across, salt, float, businesses that have different modalities with them. You really can get to 25 to 50% of your revenue from retail if you do it right. And I think you can sell 12 to 15% in your sleep. If you institute, really, I mean, like without doing anything, you start to make this part of the thought process, you're going to see those retail sales go up.
Yeah, I think you spoke to that a little bit during your presentation, but are there things we should be thinking about? Like, are we selling online? Is it how the display looks? Is it built into the scheduling process? What do you suggest for that kind of stuff?
Okay, my philosophy is you retail everywhere. And you have to think about what I call retail touch points. We actually start to sell retail before they ever walk through the door. That's social media, website, pictures of real retail products on your YouTube, and et cetera, et cetera. And then really creating the experience in the facility. So they see beautiful retail displays. There's retail testers. There's retail in the guest bathrooms or the changing areas. There's shelf talkers. And then before they leave, we make retail recommendations, but we follow up on them. We send it out to them. We're so happy to see you. If you want to experience, a float in your bathtub tonight, we recommend XYZ. You design it, and then on the tail end part, you think about doing what I call proactive retail recall, so that people who have made a purchase, think about the recall you get on your contact lenses from your dentist, from your eye doctor, from anybody that you've ever made a purchase from, how they continue to follow up with you to create a second, third, fourth, fifth sale. And then I think really building in a strong retail component into your membership program. Some of my research has shown that members buy 40%, as much as 40% more retail than non-members.
Sorry, I couldn't find the mute button there for a second. That is great. Yeah, I know. I think a lot of float center owners offer like a discount on retail to members. I'd love to, if you guys want to throw in the chat what you offer to your members for retail, whether it be discounts or free stuff, or I know some people give like an annual gift or what have you. But it looks like Peter has a question, so we'll let Peter come on and ask his question.
Yeah, thanks, Patty. They're really good tips. Can you give any insight or experience sharing how we can improve our online sales? We've put some of our products onto our website, but we've found very little traction. Are there any good examples that you can share?
Okay, first of all, I think a lot of people in the spa and wellness space are kind of novices with online selling. What I find in this space is that people are doing their research on those retail products. They're going to go and look. They may not make a purchase the first time, But for reorders is where you're probably going to see better growth and traction. And then I really do like it when I get a newsletter or a text message that shows me a picture of a retail product and it says, you could have this at home today. But the reason I think to have that online store is so that people can, first of all, learn that you have retail to sell. After they experience the product through a real purchase, probably, I know you're in a unique situation, but now that more people are buying in brick and mortar, they're probably going to use it for what I call late night retail. Oh my goodness, I need a XYZ. And they reorder through online just because it's quicker. So I wouldn't get too frustrated about that. The other thing I think that really sells is videos of product use. Very important component. And pretty easy to do.
And I'll share one thing that's helped us with a lot of our retail sales. We have one particular spot where we take photographs of all of our images of all of our products. And we try not to use stock photos at all. You can pull those off of the manufacturer's website, but I have this particular place. It's actually the coffee table in our lounge, and we have salt lamps behind it, and we do a blur background. But all of our photos look the same. So if somebody's scrolling through social media, they recognize that background if they've been following us for a while. And we actually have a lot of people who get excited. They're like, ooh, what kind of product do they have today? And want to see what we're offering, and they can just recognize it from that consistent background use. And then, we every single time we try to post a retail product about once a week, once every 10 days. And every single time we post it, we always see immediate sales coming through the door within a day or two. Sometimes we have people who've never been to our shop who've said, I saw that product and I need it, and tell me about the rest of the services you offer.
That's great.
So yeah, it works really well.
That's really great. Yeah. Another really good idea is to do a retail bundle. And you don't have to discount it. It's getting people to buy that collection of 3 products that all kind of work together synergistically and creating a little collection. And retail bundles are really, really a great way to get people to try more than one product at a time.
I love that retail bundle idea. I also like Kim shared that they do a product of the month in the chat. That's a really good idea too. Does anybody else have any other questions? Does anybody want to share the craziest retail product that they offer? The wildest thing? I'm thinking of one in particular. I wonder if they're paying attention. Okay, let me check and see if we had any other questions on that thing. I think we already asked it. Yeah, we already talked about using Epsom salt to make products. And I already let everybody know that we'll be recording this and sharing later.
I've got a question. I don't have any space for retail. I don't have any shelf space, my just with my build out. So what do you recommend for that? I don't want my whole walls to be totally busy, but in a real limited area, how do you?
Well, if you take the philosophy of retail everywhere, you have some space somewhere, even if it's just at your welcome desk. And if you can do something in your changing areas, Sally, do you have more than just flotation tanks?
Yeah, I have a 3-chair salon and a massage room, and then I have a chillax area where I do Lucia Light. I do that in the massage room too.
Okay, you can do some retail displays inside those treatment areas, as well as the guest bathroom. Even if you have like a single table in a hallway, you probably have more retail space than you realize. And for you, it might be really important to step up your digital retail experience. But I'll bet you if I came over there, I could find a lot more retail space. Start at the welcome desk.
Yeah, I like the idea of not the bathroom, but we have kind of a get ready area where people can put themselves back together before they leave. And there's counter space in there for sure.
Great.
Especially if you're selling like lotions or things people might be using as a get ready thing, they can kind of try them
Mhm.
out and then take them home with them. Any last minute questions? Sounds like we need to talk about Miracle Fruities for a second. Does Ashkan and Graham want to tell us about Miracle Fruities? Or do I have to do it? Please don't make me do it. All right, I'll do it. Okay, so these are like a little berry, and I think they come in little dried packets, and you eat them, and it changes the way that your taste bud perceives sour flavors. So you can you like melt them on your tongue, I think, and then if you eat a lemon, it tastes really sweet. So it's just a
Interesting.
really fun, silly thing to do, and people, I think people buy them like pretty regularly, unless they just have them there so they can use them themselves. I'm not sure.
There's also a lesser known berry that actually, wait, am I coming through here? Yeah,
No,
lesser
you're
known
good.
berry that turns sweet into bitter, which sells much less well than Miracle Fruit does.
They need better branding, probably.
We sell a product called City Bonfires, and we bought them at Christmas, but they're still very popular. And it's a can with a bonfire in it, very small. And you can put it on your table outside and light it. And
Cool.
it comes with a couple of packages of s'more kits. So you can make your own s'mores
That's so
over
fun.
this little bonfire.
Love that.
It's a pleasure. People love to do that at Christmas, but you know, all winter long we sold them.
Well, that is awesome. If you guys don't have any other questions, I think we can call it a day. So thank you again, Patti. We really, really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. And if anybody wants to send me questions later, I'm sure I can get you in touch with Patti to answer any direct questions. And we'll make sure we share this recording later if you came in late. And we'll see you next time at our next webinar.
It's been great. Best luck. Stay safe, stay profitable. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Patti. Thank you all for joining us.
Yeah, thanks so
Thanks,
much.
everybody.